Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Road to Glory Career Mode episode today, and welcome to Friday. Welcome to your weekend. Hopefully you have a great one. This is going to kickstart it off in the best way. That is what we're aiming to do. With 4 more games coming your way, 3 of which are obviously post-com, and the other one for the final game of today's episode will be live. It is the big one against Manchester United, so stick around for that later on today. And remember as well, patch of FIFA has now been dropped. Obviously, last episode, I wasn't sure whether or not it was on the game or not because of the fact that it had been released on PC. Wasn't sure if it had made it onto consoles at the time. A few of you in the comment section said that it hadn't. A couple of other people said that it didn't actually affect current saves in terms of the -1 rating glitch thing. So at this point, I actually didn't know. But one thing I did know is that I was struggling. I was struggling when I recorded this video in regards to trying to score goals because I could no longer use and abuse the overpowered finesse shots. So for me, this was a challenge. It really, really was. Head into the first game, though, against West Brom, a team that sits 17th currently in the Premier League. I was thinking this is probably the best game we could have had to try and get used to trying to put the ball in the back of the net through a different way than just the finesse shots, as we find our first chance with Rodney Jansen. We can't finish it straight at the goalkeeper, and it's just so easy for them when you get in that position. Feel like now it's either going to have to come from a cross, or we're going to have to pretty much get one-on-one guarantee with the goalkeeper. We sent through Alenia here on the weaker right foot, and I was fuming at him because I thought, how have you missed that from there? Looking back at it, though, it was probably my fault because I didn't time it great at all. But we're into the second half here, and I was struggling. Like, I couldn't actually get the opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net, which were clear cut. Sukasev trying to win a header. It bounces down for Kubo, who tries to send a finesse shot goalwards. And to be honest, I think I'm going to stop trying to time him because the finesse shot time finesses, they've added a little bit to it, so you have to pretty much get it on point nowadays rather than just obviously kind of having it as an okay time finesse too early or too late type thing. The window of opportunity, it's a lot smaller, and I've never been great at that type of thing, so I think I'm just going to stop trying to time them, as we did everything we could to put the ball in the back of the net for game 1, but unfortunately, we didn't find the breakthrough. We ended up with a 0-0 draw against West Brom, who hadn't even registered a single shot on goal. We had something crazy like 72% of possession. We had something like 9 shots, but when I tell you how many on target, you can clearly understand why. We had 9 shots. 2 of those 9 were actually on target. So 7 shots that we didn't put on target, which is pretty mind-blowing when you consider that. They were the stats at the end of the game. And, yeah, that's not exactly great. So it can only get better from here, though, right? As you can see, the league table after 30 games. 8 more to go until the end of the 38 league campaign. And we might be champions come the end of that. We don't know yet. We're still waiting to see how it finishes. Obviously, we introduced sliders at this point as well. We've lost quite a lot of points comparing it to before we had the sliders in, so we have to take that into account as well. Chances are we're not going to go on an 8-game unbeaten spree. The potential is that we're probably going to lose a game coming up, and therefore, we can't just think that it's done and dusted yet. So, heading into game 2 against Southampton, a side doing currently a little bit better than that West Brom side were doing. I was thinking, if I can't score, if I can't put the ball in the back of the net, I'm going to have to just rely on 0-0s. And I don't want to have to do that because there's going to be a time when I won't be able to defend. So I need to find a way to put this ball in the back of the net. That was my thought process. So I was thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? So I tried to use and abuse some crossing in this game. Nah, I just don't get used to crossing. So 8 minutes in, we slipped through Kubo, and I did this finish. And that was at the point where I was like, okay, I'm not even going to try it now because I clearly can't finish my dinner. Therefore, let me just try and whip a load of crosses into the box and hope for the best, really. El Yunusi makes me look silly. Berg plays it through, gets on the ball, and eventually shoots. It comes back off the post, and I breathe a sigh of relief thinking, wow, that could have easily been 1-0. So we get away with one. Into the second half, though. We begin the second half off straight from kickoff largely. Southampton, El Yunusi, quite lucky here to still have the ball. But then he does me here by playing it back, taking 2 players out of the game. They put the ball in, and Beretta's header ends up going golden. 1-0 down after 50 minutes. The plan of me talking, saying I can't put the ball in the back of the net, so therefore I need to defend, out the window. I have to score now. Got no other choice. So I went for it. And doing so, could have caused ourselves to go 2-0 down. Southampton tore us apart in this part of the game. Beretta again goes close. This time, it's McNamee who's equal to it. Pushes it out for the save. With 12 minutes to go, we found Robert. Robert trying to do some step-overs to get into the box. Eventually gets the shot away. And then it was straight at the goalkeeper. So the reason I didn't actually show you any of the crosses we put into the box was because we didn't win a single one. And I've realised that about my team. We're not the best in terms of aerial ability. So I need to start to think about this. Maybe it's going to have to be a case of we move Kubo out to the left-hand side, and then when the summer window comes, because as I said to you guys previously, Van Bergen's injury means he might not be back in the team. Kubo can play out wide and can put the crosses in. It's potential that we go out and buy ourselves like a tall player to add a little bit of height to the side. Maybe try and get some ability from crosses or something. Because clearly, I need to find a way to put this ball in the back of the net. That's 2 games now where we've had the first game, we largely dominate, have a load of chances, can't hit the target. Second game against Southampton, we had nothing. Literally nothing. They found it easy to defend against us. So again, both those games we had at the beginning, I felt were winnable games. To not get a single point out of the Southampton game and to only get 1 out of West Brom for a possible 6, I thought was quite bad. So I went into this one against Burnley thinking we have to win. We've got no other choice. At this stage now, teams around us, if they're winning their games, this gap that we had beginning the episode off with is just going to go down and down and down, and we're going to end up being close to them before we even get into the sort of thick of things anyway. So I felt we had to win this, and it was a massive game here. We got our first chance inside 17 minutes when I thought we converted after Weah wins the flick on. McNeil can't get near it. He goes to take the corner to the side. Ball gets cleared out, sent back to McNeil. That touch there, I don't know why he did it, but I'm glad that he did. He puts the cross in. And is that the save of the series? Because I've titled today's video Save of the Series so far. I think that is a contender. As soon as he did that, I sat there and was like, well, that's probably the closest we're going to get. However, not too long later, McNeil, who should have had the assist, decides, I guess what? I'm going to go up the other end now and screw trying to cross it. I'm just going to drive forward and try and finish it. Luckily, after a bit of a mix-up between the defence and such, we end up getting through, and they put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't quite know who got the final touch on this one. Looked like the goalkeeper did, actually. And it ended up going in. So I was quite glad to see that ball cross the line for the first time today. But then Pepe down the right-hand side just before half-time set Jeff Hendrick in. And without Dono McNamee saving it once, and then a brilliant clearance from Sukasev, we would have been drawing the game at 1 apiece. So I had to count my blessings there and say well done to the both of those guys. Coming out for the second half, McNeil now trying to find another one as we get quite lucky. The ball bouncing through to Tim Weah, whose finish was less than convincing. But at least he put the ball in the back of the net. And it was 2-0 Grimsby. Miraculously, we scored twice, not just once in this game. And the points look secured. Now, like I said, the beginning of this, it's going to take me a bit of time to get used to the patch. So I was sat there in this last game you're about to see. And I was kind of a little bit tilted during it. But it is one of them things. Whenever something changes, it takes a little bit of time before you get used to it. I understand that now. And as we go forward again, Tim Weah, this is probably the best of the 3 goals, I guess you could say, because it was more clean by us in terms of our play. Didn't have to rely on a lucky bounce or a goalkeeper making a save and it luckily going across the line. It was just nice play and a brilliant finish from Dwight Gale to make it 3-0 and pretty much sink Burnley, getting us our first 3 points of the episode today. And that was just a relief more than anything, because if we had gone winless up until this stage, going into the game now against Manchester United, I don't know what would have happened. So it was just nice to get back on winning ways. Nice to put the ball in the back of the net 3 times as well and not have to rely on any finesse shots in the process. But guys, that is going to be the end of the post-com portion of today's episode. As I shook hands with Sean Dyche, we head into now live com for the game against Manchester United. And let's just say this, you are in for a treat here because their team is unreal. And to be fair, we actually didn't play too badly. So enjoy the rest of this one as it plays out, guys. Alright then guys, we are here for the final game of today. Manchester United at home at Blundell Park. You can see the table, 7 points is the gap between us and Spurs. United falling away since they were chasing us. This is a much-win game for them. However, I don't think they can catch us. 15 points. Well, they still could in theory, actually, on points. But more importantly for us, it's about trying to make sure we don't lose the game itself. It's been a up-and-down episode today. Good results, bad results. Results in between. First game specifically, I did everything I could to try and score. And I will say this, it's my first game back in this career mode since the patch of finesse shots properly being nerfed came in. I know the patch was there last episode, but it actually wasn't in play apparently because it had obviously been PC that it had gone to, and it was coming to consoles later. So, yeah, I'm not sure if the patch was in the last episode. Can't say for sure, but I'm definitely feeling today's episode has been more tough for me to score. But I think it's well down to the fact that that is just because I'm bad, you know. You've got to take that into account. I am also bad at the game, so that could be why. However, we are going to jump ourselves into this one, and I'm saying this right now. I would quite gladly accept a draw here. I know I should be looking to go into every game trying to win, but if you said to me before kickoff, DJ, you'll get yourself a draw, I'd have taken your hand off at that. We're going into a game against Man United, and we'll just see how this final game pans out. I was quite glad to beat Burnley last game. We did get quite lucky, though, as well, with a couple of goals. Obviously, the first goal from McNeil was blocked, but it still went in. We had the second one from Tim Weah, which was quite lucky to get the bounce through. No question about Gale's effort, though. That was a really good finish from him. Save of the year series as well from the Burnley goalkeeper last game. So there's that to take into account. Other than that, though, guys, it's time for Man United. Here we go then. The two sides are about to pop up on the screen. You've seen ours. McNamee, Sukasev, Darfalu, Ramos, Marcelo, Peterson, Alenia, and of course the rest of them as they go into play. But the thing is, I'm looking at this Man United team wondering who's here. I've seen Anthony Martial. In real life as well, he's just signed a new 5-year deal over at Manchester United. Big for them, I think, in that regard. Pogba captains aside. David De Gea is in goal. Immediately seeing where this is going to be pretty tough. Sergio Roberto in there. Harry Maguire, interestingly, as well. I did not expect to see Harry Maguire at a Manchester United shirt. Sergio Roberto, Maguire, Sula and Mitchell line up the back four. Mitchell's the only sort of weak link there. Zielinski, Pogba and Barella. That's a world-class midfield. Bernardeschi, Lukaku and Martial as a front three. I tell you what, if we get any kind of result out of this game right here, I will be thrilled with that. Because that team for Man United, not only is it more expensive than a single... Lukaku himself is more expensive than probably our entire team. But the quality they've got is just tremendous. Their midfield alone should just boss this game. Barella, Pogba... And, of course, in the other position. Who was it in the other centre mid? I can't remember. I've already lost count. I've already lost it. Oh, immediately we're in. Robert. What am I talking about? This is what I'm talking about as well. My driven shots, I need work on them. And I just finessed that in past ones. McNeil's going to find Kubo. Tell you what, as starts to a game go, we're not doing too bad here. Alenia. Zielinski was the other midfielder. That's it. Peterson. Tried to turn away and gave it away in the end. Just feel like my centre defensive midfielders are a bit sluggish at times, especially Peterson. Lukaku can't find the one I'm trying to switch to. And it's given them a chance here. I was looking to swap to Alenia on my return to that. It's an easy goal. It's just so easy. As soon as you see a cross come in, you just know where the ball's going. Oh, dear me. I mean, again, another cross, another Darfalu mistake in terms of where he's positioning himself. But... remember Lukaku, capabilities in the air, we know what he's like, and immediately we go one down. The first chance of the game as well to United comes from a cross. If only I could cross the ball, maybe I'd be able to score them. Well, I mean, with United now 1-0 in front, they largely don't even need to go forward. They could just sit back behind the ball and not have to worry about anything. As Alenia's going to find a brilliant pass to McNeil. This is where we need a cross to work out for once. McNeil delivers towards Weah. How has he got there ahead of Tim Weah? I thought Weah was going to be favourite on that. We win the header with Sukasev, though, down to Alenia. Lukaku tracking back. Everybody from Manchester United is behind the football right now. McNeil's delivery again. Again, headed out. But what is going on with Man United defensively? Look how they're shaped up. Look at that. He's been held there, ref, as well. Tried to play a quick 1-2 with Kubo, with Weah. And I don't know if you saw it, right? We were through. And then all of a sudden, Kubo couldn't get in. Dodgy referee in this. All I'm saying, I'm going to try and use every excuse in the book right here to try and excuse this. Man United play some good football to break down the left-hand side. Lukaku up against Darfalu. Who's gonna win this, do you think? Well, Lukaku takes it the easy route and plays it. No. How are they getting headers in our box with ease? Come on, man. Sukasev wins the ball back brilliantly and finds Kubo. Kubo into added time now. Alenia up towards Weah. Weah needs a run from Robert, which he gets. Feeding Robert as well. In towards the penalty box of Manchester United. Robert pulls it back. Looks across. And whoever that was on the slide there, Paul Pogba it was. Tremendous. Just saved his team from conceding. We put the corner in. David De Gea comes out and collects. That's going to take us to half-time at 1-0 down. Only the single chance for Man United. They took it. We had one at the beginning few minutes with Robert. And we couldn't convert it. That's the difference in quality though, isn't it? I mean, you've got 75 rated Robert playing left wing. If that was high 80s, like an Anthony Martial, for example, would he have buried the chance? Quite probably. The run was being made, and I tried to find him. I saw it, just couldn't get the pass off. And at the minute, we're clutching at straws here, literally trying to do whatever we can to craft the chance. And this has been part of my problem since I've come into the series today. Creating opportunities has not been as easy as it once was, which is maybe making me rethink the whole slider situation we're currently in, because obviously I wanted to make it harder, and at the minute, I can't even create chances, which is half the problem. Alenia going to find Robert. Robert flicks it around the corner to Marcelo. Marcelo back towards Robert. Robert to Weah. No, it's gone away through to Kubo. You see what I mean? It's literally right in front of him. I'm pressing shoot, and he can't quite reach it. Inches away. How has he not got on that? Oh, don't even say. How has he been megged there? It's going to be another one. Lukaku's in. Every time, it's just pointless trying to defend crosses. Look. There's no chance at all for me to defend that. Lukaku's free. We get megs with Sukasev even when we win the ball back. How? How do we get megs there? It's a joke. Here is McNeil. Needs a good cross this time. Will we find a head of our player? No, not quite. As again, they win another one. Maybe they're just far superior in the air today. That could be the reason why. I literally can't win anything against them, and I can't break them down through playing football. So what hope have we got? Going to be brutally honest, guys. I have not enjoyed this game right here. Really have not. They've just overused the crossing and put the headers in. And we fall to a 2-0 defeat at the beginning, or the end of the episode, sorry. So I think, for the most part, as much as obviously this is a bit more realistic in the aspect of us not winning every game, for certain enjoyment, I'm not enjoying it. Yes, the patch is different. And yes, it's obviously more difficult now to score. You can still use time finesses. They're just a lot more harder to catch correctly. But in the grand scheme of things, I made starter settings to make it even harder. And the truth is, not only is it harder for me to now defend, I can't create the chances I once was. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do regarding that. We're 7 points ahead by the looks of things still, though. So I might leave it as it is for now and see what happens next time out. But luckily, Spurs did drop points by the looks of things. They were facing Man City. What was the result there? Yeah, they lost by a goal to nil. So City doing us a bit of a solid there. Keeps us 7 points at the top of the table. But if you look, since we put the slider settings the way we have at our past results, when did we add sliders? Let's take a quick look at that. So I believe it was when we smashed Arsenal. When was that? Okay, it was there, 6-1. We then played against Watford and won 2-1. We then played against City. So we started adding sliders here. We won 3-2 against City, 2-1 against Spurs, 6-0 against Palace, and that was with the slider settings on. 3 wins back-to-back. We made it then even harder. Lost to Huddersfield, so that's 3 wins, 1 defeat. We then beat Cardiff, lost to Bournemouth, lost to West Ham in the Cup, obviously. Drew 2-2 with Man City, lost to Watford, beat Wolves, beat Palace, drew with West Ham, beat Huddersfield, lost to Spurs, drew with Chelsea, drew with West Brom. Southampton we lost to, we beat Burnley, we lost to Man United. So yeah, the results themselves have actually been fairly okay. Quite a few defeats, a few draws in there. I think we've won a bit more than we've lost though in terms of since we've added sliders. So I'm not really like fussed about it. It's just until I kind of get used to this patch again. Trying to score goals is just so difficult right now. So yeah. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Obviously, today's episode, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 1 win. It's not the best results in the world, but all I can say is the other teams around us are also dropping points, Liverpool and Spurs. On another day, if we lose these games and drop the points and they keep winning, then we're in trouble. At the minute, 7 points clear, 5 games to go. They're dropping points. I'm not too worried just yet. Obviously, as we go closer to the end of the season and you guys get, obviously, the hype of the Premier League coming to a close, I'm sure this gap will be even closer. Because I guarantee you right now, we're not going to win every single of our last 5 games. We've got Brighton up next. Then we've got Liverpool. So that'll be a very tough one. Arsenal again, Everton, and Leicester to go. So like I said, that gap will not remain at 7 points. Just put it that way. If you have enjoyed, though, today's episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, guys, thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. Really appreciate that as well. If you aren't around here and like what you see, hit that subscribe button, guys. And follow me on the channel. We upload every day at 4 p.m. UK time. I'm going to try and get a second video out for today, guys. But I have got training tonight, so I will be away doing that. But I'm going to try my hardest to give you guys the double upload that you deserve. Until next time, guys, enjoy your Friday. Welcome to the weekend. Have a great weekend as well, and I'll see you all again soon. Adios.